Today we're discovering 20 Viking garden crops that could revolutionize how you think about growing your own food. While we're busy buying expensive organic vegetables at the grocery store, the Vikings were growing food that could survive Arctic winters, resist disease, and pack more nutrition than anything in your modern garden. These weren't just crops, they were survival tools. Sea beans, Salicornia, the Viking salt substitute. When salt was more valuable than gold, Vikings discovered something growing along their rocky coastlines that could season their food naturally. Sea beans, also known as Salicornia or samphire. These succulent, crunchy plants absorbed salt from seawater, creating a natural seasoning that was both flavorful and nutritious. Vikings would harvest sea beans during summer months, preserving them in various ways to last through winter. The plants are packed with sodium, but also contain significant amounts of protein, fiber, and essential minerals. It's like nature created the perfect seasoning blend, complete with nutritional benefits. Modern chefs are rediscovering sea beans, calling them sea asparagus for their crisp texture and briny flavor. If you live near a coast, you can still forage these remarkable plants, or even grow them in containers using salt water. They're proof that Vikings understood something we're just remembering. The best ingredients often come from the most challenging environments. Leeks, the Vikings' sacred vegetable. In Norse mythology, leeks weren't just food, they were sacred plants associated with protection and strength. Vikings grew massive leeks in their gardens, some reaching sizes that would dwarf anything you see in modern supermarkets. These weren't just for show, they were essential survival food that could be stored for months without refrigeration. Viking leeks were different from today's varieties, hardier, more flavorful, and incredibly resilient. They could survive in poor soil and harsh weather conditions that would kill modern hybrid vegetables. Vikings used them in everything from soups and stews to medicinal preparations, believing they could ward off illness and evil spirits. What's remarkable is how right they were about leeks' health benefits. Modern science confirms that leeks contain powerful antioxidants, support heart health, and have natural antibiotic properties. They're like having a pharmacy and pantry rolled into one plant. If you want to grow vegetables that can handle whatever nature throws at them, start with the varieties Vikings trusted with their lives. Wild Angelica, the Viking superfood. Long before anyone coined the term superfood, Vikings were cultivating wild Angelica in their northern gardens. This towering herb, reaching up to 8 feet tall, wasn't just impressive to look at. It was a nutritional powerhouse that could mean the difference between life and death during harsh Scandinavian winters. Vikings used every part of this remarkable plant. The stems were candied and eaten like candy when sugar was non-existent. The leaves were dried and used as seasoning, while the roots were harvested for their medicinal properties. Modern research has validated what Vikings knew instinctively. Angelica contains compounds that aid digestion, reduce inflammation, and boost immune function. What makes Angelica truly remarkable is its cold tolerance. While your modern vegetables wither at the first frost, Angelica thrives in temperatures that would kill most garden plants. It's like having a natural pharmacy that grows stronger in harsh conditions. Today, you can still grow Angelica in northern climates, using it for herbal teas, natural remedies, or even as an impressive backdrop plant in your garden. Kale, the original superfood green. Long before kale became a trendy superfood, Vikings were growing it in their harsh northern gardens. But Viking kale wasn't the delicate variety you find in modern stores. It was a tough, cold, hardy plant that could survive under snow and actually became sweeter after frost. Vikings understood that kale was more than just a vegetable. It was insurance against malnutrition. Packed with vitamins A, C, and K, plus iron and calcium, kale provided essential nutrients when other foods were scarce. They would harvest it throughout winter, pulling leaves from under snow when needed. The variety Vikings grew was likely similar to what we now call walking stick kale or tree kale, plants that could grow 6 feet tall and produce leaves for years. It's like having a perennial vegetable tree that gets more nutritious in cold weather. Modern gardeners are rediscovering these hardy varieties, realizing that sometimes older really is better. Nettle, the stinging superfood. Don't let the sting fool you. Stinging nettle was one of the most valuable plants in any Viking garden. While modern gardeners curse nettles as weeds, Vikings cultivated them deliberately, knowing they contained more protein than most vegetables and enough vitamins to prevent scurvy during long sea voyages. The secret to nettle's power lies in its aggressive nature. Those stinging hairs that make you jump back, they're packed with formic acid, histamine, and other compounds that, when cooked, transform into a nutritional goldmine. Vikings would harvest young nettle leaves in spring, cooking them like spinach or drying them for winter use. Modern nutritional analysis shows nettles contain more iron than spinach, more protein than most leafy greens, and significant amounts of vitamins A, C, and K. It's like having a multivitamin that grows wild in your backyard. Today, nettle is making a comeback in health food circles, but Vikings were way ahead of the curve. They knew that sometimes the most valuable foods are the ones that fight back. Parsnips, the Viking winter carrot. While carrots struggled in Scandinavian soil, Vikings had something better: parsnips. These cream-colored roots were perfectly adapted to northern climates, actually requiring frost to develop their sweet, nutty flavor. Vikings would leave them in the ground all winter, harvesting them as needed. Parsnips were like having a natural root cellar that improved with age. The cold temperatures converted starches to sugars, making winter-harvested parsnips incredibly sweet and flavorful. Vikings used them in stews, roasted them over fires, and even made a type of beer from fermented parsnip juice. Modern nutritional analysis shows parsnips contain more fiber than carrots, significant amounts of folate and potassium, and natural sugars that provide sustained energy. They're like nature's energy bar, designed to fuel you through harsh conditions. Today, many gardeners overlook parsnips, but Vikings knew they were getting something special, a vegetable that actually improved when left in frozen ground. Turnips, the Viking storage champion. When Vikings needed vegetables that could last through 6-month winters without spoiling, they turned to turnips. These hardy roots were the ultimate storage crop, keeping fresh in cool cellars for months while providing both roots and greens for nutrition. Viking turnips were different from modern varieties. Smaller, denser, and more flavorful. They could grow in poor soil and harsh conditions, producing reliable harvests even in difficult years. Vikings ate the roots roasted, boiled, or raw, while the greens provided essential vitamins during winter months. What made turnips truly valuable was their dual nature. You got 2 vegetables from one plant, nutritious greens that could be harvested multiple times, and storage roots that lasted through winter. It's like having a savings account that pays dividends in nutrition. Modern homesteaders are rediscovering turnips, realizing they offer more bang for your buck than almost any other vegetable. Fava beans, the Viking protein powerhouse. Before soybeans became the protein crop of choice, Vikings were growing fava beans, large, meaty legumes that could provide complete protein in harsh northern climates. These weren't the delicate beans you might find in gourmet restaurants. They were tough, hardy plants that could handle cold weather and poor soil. Fava beans were like having a meat substitute that grew in your garden. Vikings would eat them fresh in summer, then dry them for winter storage. The dried beans could be ground into flour, cooked into porridge, or added to stews for protein and substance. Modern nutritional science confirms what Vikings knew. Fava beans are nutritional powerhouses, containing more protein than most other legumes, plus significant amounts of fiber, folate, and minerals. They also fix nitrogen in soil, improving growing conditions for other crops. It's like having a plant that feeds both you and your garden. Today, fava beans are making a comeback among gardeners who want reliable protein from their own backyard. Wild garlic, the Viking antibiotic. Long before penicillin, Vikings had wild garlic, a pungent plant that grew naturally in their forests and could be cultivated in shaded garden areas. This wasn't just for flavoring food, it was medicine that could fight infections and boost immune systems during harsh winters. Wild garlic, also called ramps or bear garlic, was like having a natural pharmacy growing in the woods. Vikings would harvest the leaves in spring, using them fresh or preserving them for later use. The entire plant was edible, leaves, bulbs, and even flowers, providing both nutrition and medicinal benefits. Modern research has validated Viking wisdom about wild garlic's health benefits. It contains allicin, the same compound that makes regular garlic so beneficial, plus additional nutrients that support cardiovascular health and immune function. It's like having a superfood that grows wild and requires no cultivation. Today, foragers and gardeners are rediscovering wild garlic, but Vikings never forgot its value. Cloudberries, the Arctic gold. In the harsh northern regions where Vikings lived, few fruits could survive, except cloudberries. These orange, raspberry-like berries grew wild in boggy areas and were so valuable that Vikings called them Arctic gold. They were packed with vitamin C and could prevent scurvy during long sea voyages. Cloudberries were like having nature's vitamin C supplement growing in the most unlikely places. Vikings would harvest them in late summer, preserving them in various ways to last through winter. The berries contain more vitamin C than oranges, plus antioxidants and natural preservatives that helped them keep without refrigeration. What makes cloudberries truly remarkable is their adaptation to extreme conditions. They thrive in acidic, boggy soil where other plants fail, and can handle temperatures that would kill most fruit plants. It's like having a fruit that gets stronger in harsh conditions. Today, cloudberries are still harvested in northern regions, commanding premium prices for their unique flavor and nutritional benefits. Sorrel, the Viking vitamin boost. When Vikings needed a quick vitamin boost, they turned to sorrel, a tart, lemony green that grew wild and could be easily cultivated. This wasn't just a flavoring herb, it was a nutritional powerhouse that provided essential vitamins when other fresh foods were scarce. Sorrel was like having a natural vitamin C tablet growing in your garden. Vikings would eat it fresh in salads, cook it into soups, or preserve it for winter use. The plant's natural acidity helped preserve other foods and added a bright, fresh flavor to heavy winter meals. Modern nutritional analysis shows sorrel contains significant amounts of vitamins A and C, plus oxalic acid that gives it its distinctive tart flavor. It's like having a natural flavor enhancer that also boosts nutrition. Today, sorrel is making a comeback in gourmet cooking, but Vikings knew it was valuable long before it became trendy. Juniper berries, the Viking spice cabinet. While other cultures traded for exotic spices, Vikings had juniper berries growing right in their backyard. These small blueberries weren't just for flavoring, they were natural preservatives that could keep meat fresh and provide medicinal benefits during harsh winters. Juniper berries were like having a spice cabinet and medicine chest rolled into one plant. Vikings used them to flavor meat, preserve food, and treat various ailments. The berries contain natural antimicrobial compounds that helped prevent food spoilage and supported digestive health. What makes juniper berries special is their dual nature as both flavoring and preservative. They're the secret ingredient in gin, but Vikings used them long before distillation was invented. It's like having a natural food safety system growing on bushes. Today, juniper berries are still used by foragers and traditional cooks who understand their unique properties. Seaweed, the ocean vegetable. Living near the ocean, Vikings discovered that some of the most nutritious vegetables didn't grow in soil at all. They grew in the sea. Various types of edible seaweed provided essential minerals and vitamins that were hard to find in land-based plants. Seaweed was like having a mineral supplement that washed up on shore. Vikings would harvest different varieties, drying them for winter use or eating them fresh. Seaweed contains iodine, essential for thyroid function, plus other minerals that were crucial for health in northern climates. Modern nutritional science confirms that seaweed is one of the most nutrient-dense foods available, containing minerals, vitamins, and compounds that support overall health. It's like having a superfood that requires no cultivation and renews itself naturally. Today, seaweed is gaining recognition as a sustainable, nutritious food source, but Vikings were way ahead of the curve. Linganberries, the eternal berry. In Scandinavian forests, Vikings found berries that seemed almost magical. Linganberries that could stay fresh for months without any preservation. These small red berries were packed with natural preservatives and provided essential vitamins during long winters. Linganberries were like having nature's own preservation system. Vikings would store them in cool places, where they would stay fresh for months, providing vitamin C and antioxidants when other fruits were unavailable. The berries' natural benzoic acid acted as a preservative, keeping them from spoiling. What makes linganberries remarkable is their natural shelf life. Unlike other berries that spoil quickly, linganberries can last for months in cool storage. It's like having a fruit with built-in preservation technology. Today, linganberries are still harvested in northern regions and are gaining recognition for their health benefits and unique properties. Horseradish, the Viking fire root. When Vikings needed something to clear their sinuses and fight off infections, they turned to horseradish, a fiery root that could grow in harsh conditions and provided powerful medicinal benefits. This wasn't just a condiment. It was medicine that could help survive northern winters. Horseradish was like having a natural decongestant, an antibiotic growing in your garden. Vikings would grate the fresh root, using it to flavor food and treat respiratory ailments. The plant's natural compounds could clear congestion and fight bacterial infections. Modern research confirms that horseradish contains powerful antimicrobial compounds and can support respiratory health. It's like having a pharmacy root that gets stronger with age. Today, horseradish is still valued for its medicinal properties, but Vikings understood its power long before modern science explained why it works. Bilberries, the Viking eye medicine. In northern forests, Vikings found small, dark berries that not only tasted good, but seemed to improve their vision, bilberries. These wild relatives of blueberries were packed with compounds that supported eye health and provided essential nutrients. Bilberries were like having natural eye medicine growing wild in the forest. Vikings would eat them fresh in summer and preserve them for winter use. The berry's deep purple color came from anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that support vision and overall health. Modern research has confirmed that bilberries can improve night vision and support eye health, making them valuable for pilots and others who need sharp vision. It's like having a natural vision supplement that grows on bushes. Today, bilberry supplements are popular, but Vikings got the real thing straight from the forest. Plantain, the Viking band-aid. Growing along Viking paths and in disturbed soil, plantain was so common that it was called white man's footprint by some cultures. But Vikings knew this humble weed was actually a powerful healing plant that could treat wounds and digestive problems. Plantain was like having a first aid kit growing everywhere you walked. Vikings would chew the leaves to make poultices for wounds, or brew them into teas for digestive issues. The plant's natural compounds could reduce inflammation and promote healing. Modern herbalists still use plantain for its healing properties, confirming what Vikings knew centuries ago. It's like having a natural pharmacy that grows as a weed in most climates. Today, many people overlook plantain as just another weed, but Vikings saw it as valuable medicine hiding in plain sight. Hazelnuts, the Viking brain food. In northern forests, Vikings found trees that produced nuts packed with healthy fats and protein. Hazelnuts. These weren't just snacks, they were essential nutrition that could provide energy and brain-supporting nutrients during harsh winters. Hazelnuts were like having a natural energy bar growing on trees. Vikings would harvest them in fall, storing them for winter when other protein sources were scarce. The nuts' healthy fats provided sustained energy and supported brain function during long, dark winters. Modern nutritional science shows that hazelnuts are packed with healthy monounsaturated fats, vitamin E, and minerals that support brain health and cardiovascular function. It's like having a superfood that stores itself naturally. Today, hazelnuts are valued for their health benefits, but Vikings understood their importance long before modern nutrition science explained why they're so good for you. Elderberries, the Viking immune booster. When Vikings needed to boost their immune systems before long sea voyages or harsh winters, they turned to elderberries, dark purple berries that grew on shrubs throughout Scandinavia. These weren't just food, they were medicine that could help fight off infections and support overall health. Elderberries were like having a natural immune system booster growing in your backyard. Vikings would cook the berries into syrups and preserves, knowing that the heat activated their beneficial compounds. Raw elderberries can be toxic, but Vikings had learned the proper preparation methods through generations of experience. Modern research has validated what Vikings knew instinctively. Elderberries contain powerful antioxidants and compounds that can reduce the duration and severity of cold and flu symptoms. It's like having a natural pharmacy that produces its own medicine. Today, elderberry supplements are popular during cold season, but Vikings were using this natural remedy over 1,000 years ago. Rye, the Viking survival grain. At the top of our list is the crop that literally kept Viking civilization alive. Rye. While other grains failed in harsh northern climates, rye thrived in poor soil and cold weather, providing the carbohydrates and nutrients that fueled Viking expansion across Europe and beyond. Rye was like having a grain that got stronger in harsh conditions. Vikings developed hardy varieties that could survive in acidic soil and short growing seasons where wheat and barley failed. They used rye to make dense, nutritious bread that could last for weeks and provide sustained energy for long journeys. What made rye truly special was its resilience and nutritional profile. It contains more fiber than wheat, plus B vitamins, minerals, and compounds that support digestive health. Modern research shows that rye bread can help regulate blood sugar and support heart health. It's like having a superfood grain that thrives where others fail. Vikings understood that rye wasn't just food. It was the foundation of their civilization. Without this hardy grain, they couldn't have survived the harsh Scandinavian climate or fueled their legendary voyages of exploration and conquest. These 20 Viking crops represent more than just ancient agriculture. They're a masterclass in survival, resilience, and working with nature instead of against it. What's remarkable is how accessible these crops remain today. Many grow wild in northern climates, while others can be cultivated in modern gardens with minimal effort. Start with 1 or 2 crops that intrigue you most, perhaps nettle for its nutritional power, or rye for its incredible hardiness. These aren't just vegetables and grains, they're connections to a time when food meant survival, and every crop had to earn its place in the garden. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more forgotten wisdom that could change how you think about growing your own food.